Mime, well known as silent acting or non-verbal communication, began with the first gesture, the first time someone or something moved in response to a need, a thought, or an instinct. It is accurate to say that the beginning of mime is not a static, chronological date, but a dynamic, timeless imperative. Mime as an art form was invented by ancient Greeks and Romans and mastered by 15th century by Italian performers. In Asia, mime as a means of communication occupied an important place, particularly in Japanese No theatre and Indian dance. The treatise on Indian drama and dance, Natya Shastra, elaborates various gestures, mudras and movements for an effective communication.
Mime is a part of man's life. We use a lot of gestures, body movements, head movements to communicate something to others. For example, this is communicating something. This communicates something. This is something. This is something. So, a mime is born along with the birth of a human being on earth. Mime has attained a status of a performing art, and it has grown along with the growth of theatre in the world.
Every art form is evolved to satisfy the human need for self-expression. The thoughts, ideas and feelings expressed through art are universal, but the medium is specific. The more specific the medium, the easier it is to define the art form. Many art forms are defined by an instrument or a set of rules. Mime has no specific rules to distinguish it from the other art forms. The medium for mime is whatever works and whatever gets the point across. Mime is simply self-expression, and it is the common ground of theatre. For most art forms, the medium is the message, and for mime, the message is the medium. Mime is defined as a simple sign language and also as silent acting. Whatever it is, mime is definitely physical eloquence. Mime is the eloquent and efficient delivery of a mood or a message, in which the body is the primary instrument. That message does not have to be a story. The theme may be abstract or literal, but if the artist delivers that theme eloquently, he himself is a mime. According to mime history, there were 3 occasions in which performers encountered a problem with speaking on stage. The solution was to use the body and facial expressions to get the message across. The results were so impressive, and this silent acting has grown into a great art form in the modern times.
The history of mime tells us some interesting facts. The ancient Romans developed mime into a performing art. One of the earliest Roman actors, Levius Androcanius, was acting a major role in a major drama. But unfortunately, on the day of the performance, he lost his voice due to some throat infection. Suddenly he got one idea and asked the fellow actor, who is not on the stage, to speak his lines so that he can give the expressions by using his body, hands and face. The result was very good, and audience liked this kind of experiment. So Androcanius decided to continue this kind of performance to attract more audience and to grow into a professional act. And more interesting incident happened in French history. When Louis XV was ruling France, the touring Commedia dell'arte actors from Italy visited France to give their performances. But the king put an objection that these actors should not speak either Italian or French language. There is no go to the actors. They simply communicated the text which they are performing by using their body gestures with the help of some music. That's how mime made a big impact in the entire European theatre in the modern context.
Very often in mime there are no properties, no special effects, no dialogues, and yet the audience never feels starved for information. This is because the mime understands just how much to do and how much to leave undone. That is, how much to show and how much to leave to imagination. This makes mime one of the historic art forms. It delights the spirits in a novel way. Watching a good performance of mime, people are not initially impressed with the mime skill, but rather they are totally absorbed by their own mental images. You see objects, you follow events, you empathize with various characters. Yet there are no objects, no events and no characters on stage. There is one person on stage using all his skills to activate and direct your imagination. Here, the actor is encoding an illusion of a dream. illusion of wearing a mask with various facial expressions. The techniques of mime, walking, using the movement of feet, legs, chest, neck, hands and other parts. He is using legs and body movements to take a circle. He is climbing up the steps, and climbing down the steps. Climbing on a rope. He is creating the shapes by pulling a rope. Balancing the body on a rope. This is creating a character illusion by lifting weights. simple non-verbal communications by using hand gestures and using fingers, creating various shapes. Slow walking. Stopping a falling hillock. Square shapes. He is communicating an idea by creating the mood.
In today's acting styles, an actor has to develop an elastic body and a face that can express anything as small segments on his face. For that, the training of actor is included along with voice and speech, body and gestures, mind and movement. Today's acting courses all over the world have included mime and movement in their curriculum. And mime is also used in children theatre to attract them towards acting profession. So mime is growing, mime is moving, mime is becoming a professional element for professional actors. Of course, without speaking.
In the contemporary situation, mime has attained an academic status. Young people all over the world are trained systematically and they are